When you think about what makes someone close to God in your own life, what comes to mind? Many people assume that God is mostly looking for those who follow every rule, go to church every week, and always stay out of trouble. Jesus once told a story to show us if that's actually true. He described two very different men who went to the temple to pray. The first man was a religious expert. To everyone watching, his life looked perfect. He knew the scriptures well and did everything he was supposed to do. It is easy to think that this is the kind of person God prefers, someone with a perfect religious record. Then Jesus described the second man. He was a tax collector, an outcast. His life was messy, and everyone knew he had made many mistakes. Most people looked down on him. They saw his flaws and didn't think he belonged in a holy place. Yet there he was, standing in the same room as the religious expert, trying to talk to God. Between the man who did everything right and the man whose life was a mess, who do you think God was actually pleased with? Jesus used this story to show us that God sees things very differently than we do. The religious expert stood up and prayed, but he mostly talked about himself. He thanked God that he was better than the sinners around him. Now, praying and being honest are good. God loves when we do right. But this man fell into a trap. Instead of trusting God's kindness, he trusted only in his own good behavior. His goodness became a rigid wall, making him feel he didn't need God and blocking out anyone less holy. The sad part is that his pride made him blind. He was so full of himself that he had no room left for God. Then Jesus looked at the outcast. This man stood far off in a corner. He was so ashamed of his mistakes that he couldn't even look up toward heaven. He didn't have a list of good deeds to brag about. He simply beat his chest and said, "God, have mercy on me, a sinner." Then Jesus gave the twist. He said it was the messy, honest man, not the religious expert, who was accepted by God that day. This shows us that God doesn't grade us at a curve. He isn't looking for people who are better than their neighbors. Being right with God isn't a trophy we win by trying hard. It happens when we stop trying to prove we are perfect and trust in His mercy. God loves when we obey Him, but the moment our obedience makes us feel proud or superior, it actually pushes us away from Him. This lesson is for all of us. It is so easy to start comparing our lives to others just to feel like we are winning at being a good person. But no one gets close to God by boasting about how good they are. This is the beauty of God's grace. Like the honest man in the story, you receive God's love as a total gift. Realizing this changes you. It makes you kind and merciful because you know you need that same mercy too. Real faith makes us humble. It stops us from judging and helps us start loving. You never have to put on a show for God. You don't have to pretend you are perfect to be welcomed by Him. God is looking for an honest heart that simply says, "I need you." God still sees you. Jesus is still calling you. Your story is not over. Come back to God. Faith begins when you simply trust Him. You can finally stop trying to earn His love and simply rest in His kindness.